Hi guys, so today we are going to discuss a very tricky Chinese word that also happens to be one of the most common words, and that is shi. Now, we've looked already that shi can't be used on its own with an adjective, but actually there is a way, which is what we're going to get onto. So the main thing to remember about shi is it's very easy to make some pretty big mistakes, and it really is something that the examiners are looking out for in your speaking and your writing, that you do know the uses of this word. Okay, let's have a look.
So before we actually start talking about shi, let's just take a step back and deal with our basic how to use an adjective. In Chinese, nouns are linked to nouns in one way, but they're linked to adjectives in a completely different way. And nouns are linked to adjectives with our good old hun. Okay, so whatever adjective we're using, it could be 我很好, I am very good. It could be 中文很好. We're linking the adjective with a hun. In this way, the hun kind of actually means is, even though we know it hun on its own means very. But when you translate these sentences into English, because in English we use is for an adjective, the cat is happy, you just have to remember that the hun, it does mean very, but actually it means is. Okay, so when we're talking about nouns in Chinese, you can use shi. Okay, so for example, your sentence might be 我是老师, I am a teacher. We're quite happy using shi. It could be 你是学生, you are a student. Shi works really well. It's not an adjective. Everybody's happy. Now it starts to get a bit interesting. Okay, so I've just said that we can't use shi plus an adjective, but actually, I know it's a little bit sneaky, but we basically can. Okay, and we can do it by putting a de on the end. We can put an adjective in the middle and it works absolutely fine. So some examples of that would be something like 我的老师是讨厌的. My teacher is adjective 讨厌, annoying, the de on the end. The de on the end is really, really critical here, and you cannot leave it out. So this is a way that actually I've kind of lied to you. You can use shi with the adjective as long as you've got your de on the end. Okay, so firstly, the shi plus de construction, it is okay to use it with an adjective in the middle. We can also, however, use it for some slightly more complicated stuff, which we're going to look at now. So shi plus de construction, you can use it for adjectives. Shi, adjective, de, we're really happy with that. As long as the de is on the end, all good, all happy. We can actually put information to be emphasized inside, in between the shi and the de. Now this information to be emphasized is it could be a time, it could be a place, it could be a manner, kind of how you do something. Maybe, oh, I went to school by car or something. And in Chinese, it's really frequently used in the past tense. Okay, let's have a look at some examples of emphasizing information in the past. Okay, so the first one here, okay, number one, 第一, 我去年是去中国的. This is a really simple sentence. It literally just means I last year went to China. So you can actually, if you want, you can leave out the shi and the de, 我去年去中国, and it's basically absolutely the same. But we're putting a little bit of emphasis that I last year I went to China, but we're also, as we said, we're using this structure in the past. So I should have said, but these examples are going to be used a lot in the holiday topic. Okay, someone asks you about something in the past and you reply with some detail using the shi plus de. 第二个, let's put a little r there. 我去年是坐飞机去中国的. So I last year went to China by plane. With the shi plus the de, however, you can take them out and do my best to get rid of them. And 我去年坐飞机去中国, it just means exactly the same thing. Last year I went to China by plane. We leave the shi and the de. It sort of shows that we're talking about a past event, and it's all happy. Last one, 第三, 我是跟爸爸妈妈一起去的. So I went somewhere with mum and dad. Again, the shi and the de emphasizing, showing that something has happened in the past tense. So just before we finish, the last thing just to talk about here quickly is, where do you put the shi? The de comes at the end. You'll have a little full stop or a comma at the end of the clause. So in this first sentence here, you've got subject, time, and then shi. That's absolutely fine. Okay, we've spoken a lot about in Chinese how the time phrase goes towards the start of the sentence, either at the very start or after the subject. So subject, time phrase, 是, absolutely fine. In number 2 is exactly the same. In number 3 though, just a subject and the 是 straight in, absolutely great. So basically, as a rule of thumb, where does the 是 go? It wants to go towards the start of the subject. Towards the start of the sentence, sorry. So either directly after the subject, or if there's a time phrase, it can go after the time phrase. That's a rough outline of some of the uses for 是. Now go and have a look at the worksheet and do some of the exercises. I'm sure you will have questions, and ask me the next time in our next lesson. Or if you really want to know answers to questions, come and find me or send me a little email or a note on Teams.